Today, I'm going to talk about a space adventure story. There's faster-than-light travel. There's an heir whose father is accused of treason by an evil galactic empire. A princess from another planet flees from an arranged marriage. There's a treacherous friend and a stalwart supporter. The hero gets the girl and then joins the nascent rebellion against a galactic dictator. No, it's not the 1934 film Flash Gordon, nor is it Star Wars, though there are similarities. But that's a topic for a different video. Let's talk about The Stars Like Dust by Isaac Asimov, and the story of a college kid who was targeted for assassination because of his father's political power at home. Welcome to Matt Reviews Books, and I am Matt, and I am the caliph of this here planetary video channel. Not to say that this is a video channel about planets, but rather this is a book review channel, and book related, for that matter. And for our purposes, I include comic books and graphic novels and audiobooks in with the whole book definition. Often, there'll be older titles you might find in the used bookstore, or in your attic. Sometimes your attic is a used bookstore. That would be kind of weird. But today, I'm talking about The Stars Like Dust by Isaac Asimov. Published in 1951, I was expecting a book very much like 1951. But instead, I enjoyed a classic sci-fi adventure that satisfied both the Star Trek and Star Wars fan in me. The story is set about 1,000 years in the future. Humanity has left Earth and has moved on. Earth itself has become a battleground for a nuclear war. The rest of humanity that's on Earth is clustered. It's focused in these population centers, and the use of Geiger counters and radiation detection bands that you wear is commonplace. Our hero, Byron Farrell, is from another planet. He's on Earth, attending college, going to university, as some of you might say. Going to college on another planet is a bit like going to school in another state, or maybe even traveling internationally. Byron's father is the rancher of Wadimos, another planet, and that is basically, it's almost an aristocratic title, similar to like a duke or a prince within a feudal system. The system at this time is basically, it's feudal. There's a Galactic Empire, sort of a combination of like Genghis Khan and the Nazis. It turns out that the rancher of Wadimos, Byron's dad, is a political, he kind of stirs shit up. And he's plotting against the tyranny, which is a very apropos name, but the tyranny who rule the galaxy. Hello, cat. Yes, cat. So Byron's dad is arrested and executed by the Khan, by the tyranny. And Byron finds out, and he swears vengeance upon the Khan. Before he can leave and take his plan, he's targeted for assassination, seemingly. Somebody plants a radiation bomb in his dorm room, and he's saved by his acquaintance, kind of a friend, Sander Jaunty. And Jaunty seems at first very sympathetic, and he points Byron in the direction of the planet Rhodia, thinking that maybe the director of Rhodia would help and give him some sort of assistance in his quest. The director position is again like an aristocrat. He's like a prince or a duke within this interstellar feudal system. Turns out, Jaunty actually had some ulterior motive for sending Byron to Rhodia, but we find out about that later. Unfortunately, the director of Rhodia is a weak man, and he refuses to do anything about the tyranny or to help Byron. In fact, he turns Byron over to the tyranny. One of the representatives of the Khan shows up, tracking down Byron because of Byron's dad. However, while Byron is there, Byron meets the daughter of the director, Artemisia, and immediately there's sparks. The director's brother, Gilbert, and Artemisia help Byron escape from Rhodia before the tyranny show up to arrest him. Therein begins a race across the galaxy to find a secret rebel world, with the evil empire, the Khan, the tyranny, chasing our doty friends. At this point, I was really digging the whole space opera vibe, because it very much feels like a Star Trek or a Star Wars episode. But this was 15 years before Star Trek debuted, and 26 years before Star Wars. This was the original. This came first. This feels like the mold from which Star Wars and Star Trek and Babylon 5 were all pulled. Turns out that our friend, not really, Sander Jaunty, who rescued Byron early in the book, is not really our friend. He is in fact his own despot, his own ruler of a world. He is the autarch of Lingang. At the same time that the autarch, Jaunty, is making known his presence, Byron and our friends are being hunted by a fleet from the Empire. So they're being deceived and betrayed by somebody they thought they could trust, as well as just chased by the enemy. If you want to know what happens, I'm not going to spoil it. You can go forth and read it. Asimov was the real deal. He tells you how to calculate space travel, but in an easy to understand manner in the book. No wonder he is considered a legend in sci-fi. Also, he throws in dad jokes. One of them, at some point, character was asking about why the Horsehead Nebula was named that way, and somebody replied that it was because of a man known as Horace Head, who first explored it. Horace Head. I thought it was funny. I'm pretty sure I hear a rim shot every single time I say that joke, or read it, or think it. However, I do have an issue with the book. And I know it's 70 years later, but one of the issues I have with the book is the use of this MacGuffin in the story. Because throughout the story, there's this thread that beyond just Byron trying to find a rebel base and trying to survive, beyond that, there's this thread, this whole storyline that really doesn't do anything. It's there. It kind of makes some people do certain things. It feels like a MacGuffin. And that's the revelation that Byron's dad was looking for a secret weapon, a document with a secret weapon. And it turns out that that secret document is the Constitution of the United States. It doesn't come into the book at all. It's mentioned literally probably in the last 5 pages. It's actually obnoxious. It's something that whole wrapping that thread up, the secret weapon, as this 1,000-year-old document of classic liberalism. It's supposed to be a secret weapon? I mean, wow. At the same time, the rest of the book kind of comes to an abrupt end. It feels like the whole book, like, they get through the majority of the story, or they get through the story. But then the denouement is just kind of like, and then he did this, and he did this, and they did that, and they went there, and he just sort of stops the story with this truncated summation. The denouement just feels very abrupt. But overall, The Stars Like Dust is an enjoyable read. I like it. I want to read it again, eventually. I got other books, though, that are on my to-be-read pile. I hope you enjoyed this. I appreciate you spending time with me, watching this video. If that's the kind of thing you're into, go check it out. You can find me on the rest of the internet at www.matthewreedmedia.com, on Twitter at Matt's Book Review, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Matt Reviews Books. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.